Hi, welcome back to my channel, Fabulously Frugal and Fancy. I'm Brandy, and welcome to Vlogmas day number 10. We are going through the devotional book, Bring on the Merry, and this is 25 devotions for helping us all to be merry this Christmas season. Each one has a little devotional, a story, maybe a poem, part of a song, things like that, and also like some workbook areas. So we're going to begin today with the wonder and amazement. This is the devotional part. It's titled Wonder and Amazement. Imagine the look on a child's face on Christmas morning. The glee, the bliss, the crazed, twinkly eyes, and audible screams. There's something sacred about the wonderment children feel when they encounter that majestic tree on Christmas morning. They stare in amazement at the incredible gifts and wonder where all the presents came from. I wish I could capture all they feel in that moment and bottle it up. I would let it out in little bursts throughout my year, fueling me and propelling me forward with the joy and excitement that only children can harness. As we grow up, we start to lose that childlike wonder and awe. As kids, beauty so easily moved us. The sight of a colorful flower, a tiny caterpillar, a full moon, mom all dressed up for a date with daddy. Each of these simple sights brought joy and amazement. It brought us back to a God who loves to create beautiful things. We have an opportunity to experience the joy of creation if we open our eyes to observe all the beauty around us. Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." Creation points us to the incredible creativity of God. Wonder has another side, though, that we cannot miss. Wonder instructs us Wonder instructs us not only to marvel at and revel in, but also to question, to be curious and hungry to know and experience the world. One Christmas song gives us words for this sort of thinking. I wonder as I wonder out under the sky. The author of this song poses one of the most important questions surrounding the Christmas story. I wonder how Jesus the Savior did come for to die. I love this question because Sorry. I love this question because it gets to the heart of the word wonder. The wondering and the questioning are done with a heart of amazement and curiosity instead of doubt. It leads us to marvel at God's incredible mercy and goodness to us. I've also often asked my kids, how can I love you so much? I sit amazed at the depth of love I have for my three beautiful kids. Wondering is cultivating a spirit of gratitude and proclaiming the blessings that God gives us. What do you have to marvel at this Christmas season? What blessings has God placed in your life that you might need to stop and consider? Are you experiencing a season of great joy or celebration in your life? Tell someone. Thank God for this season. Perhaps the blessings are less obvious this year. Maybe you need to open up that bottle of childlike wonder and stop to consider a beautiful snow-covered tree outside your window. Maybe looking over letters or Christmas cards from past years will inspire a feeling of thankfulness for all the people who love and care for you. Maybe a quiet evening around the fireplace, reading a good book is what your soul needs to cultivate this sort of wonder. Stop to enjoy the wonder that is infused into Christmas. Remind yourself that wonderment at Christmas time doesn't have to hinge on material things. Look around you and wonder at the physical body God gave you to enjoy life with. Thank Him for the roof over your head, an invigorating sip of coffee, the Christmas ornament that reminds you of your mom. Wonder is available all around you. Open your eyes and soak it in. We're going to move on to the little story portion. This one is called Little Piccola by Celia Thaxter. In the sunny land of France, there lived many years ago a sweet little maid named Piccola. Her father had died when she was a baby, and her mother was very poor and had to work hard all day in the fields for a few sous. Little Piccola had no dolls or toys, and she was often hungry and cold, but she was never sad or lonely. So what if there were no children for her to play with? So what if she did not have fine clothes and beautiful toys? In summer there were always the birds in the forest and the flowers in the fields and meadows. The birds sang so sweetly, and the flowers are so bright and pretty. In the winter, when the ground was covered with snow, Piccola helped her mother and knit long stockings of blue wool. The snowbirds had to be fed with crumbs, if she could find any. And then there was a Christmas day. One year her mother was ill and could not earn any money. Piccola worked hard all day long and sold the stockings that she knit, even when her own little bare feet were blue with the cold. As Christmas Day drew near, she said to her mother, I wonder what the good St. Nicholas will bring me this year. I cannot hang my stocking in the fireplace, but I shall put my wooden shoe on the hearth for him. He will not forget me, I am sure. Do not think of it this year, my dear child, replied her mother. We must be glad if we have bread enough to eat. But Piccola could not believe that the good saint would forget her. On Christmas Eve, she put the little wooden paten on the hearth before the fire and went to sleep to dream of St. Nicholas. As the poor mother looked at the little shoe, she thought how unhappy her dear child would be to find it empty in the morning, and wished that she had something, even if it was only a tiny cake for a Christmas gift. There was nothing in the house but a few sous, and these must be saved to buy bread. When the morning dawned, Piccola awoke and ran to her shoe. St. Nicholas had come in the night. He had not forgotten the little child who had thought of him with such faith. See what he had brought her. It lay in the wooden paten, looking up at her with its two bright eyes and chirping contentedly as she stroked its soft feathers. A little swallow, cold and hungry, had flown into the chimney and down to the room. It had crept into the shoe for warmth. Piccola danced for joy and clasped the shivering swallow to her breast. She ran to her mother's bedside. Look, look, she cried. A Christmas gift, a gift from the good St. Nicholas. And she danced again in her little bare feet. Then she fed and warmed the bird and cared for it tenderly all winter long, teaching it to take crumbs from her hand and her lips and to sit on her shoulder while she was working. In the spring she opened the window for it to fly away, but it lived in the woods nearby all summer, and it came often in the early morning to sing its sweetest songs at the door. I think that's a very sweet story. Sometimes we look at things and, I think a lot of times it's all about perspective. And I think of like the weather. Right now it's 50 degrees and that actually feels warm because yesterday was 30 degrees. And, most of the time 50 feels very cold because it's been warmer. It's all about the perspective of how you look at things, whether something is good or bad. And it's amazing how if you just change your perspective just a little, that something that may have been bad can seem good when you realize that it is good. Now for the workbook part of this. When and where do you feel the wonderment of God? Fill in the chart below. And it just says when I feel wonderment and where I feel wonderment. I'll share one example with you today. If you follow me on Facebook at all, I put it on my page. Standing right at the back of our fence were 3 deer. And they were just grazing and they saw me. They raised their head up. They looked at me and they didn't even flinch. I don't know if they're just used to people or if they just didn't think I was a danger to them, but they just stood there and stared at me, and then they just went back to eating, totally indifferent. And it was beautiful, and it was amazing to me that they were just there. I think they're beautiful creatures. What gets in the way of you experiencing the awe and wonder of the Christmas season? Is it financial pressure, family issues, busyness of the season, missing how things used to be, or loss of a loved one? What are some other things that are getting in the way of you delighting in the season this Christmas? And just make a list of those. Where are you going to seek awe and wonderment this holiday season? Here's some examples. Nature, family, a fireplace, decorating, the Bible, a Christmas card. Where else can you seek awe and wonderment? How can I make time to marvel at the work ahead? Fill out the graph below and add a few hours this week to sit in the awe and amazement of Jesus' birth. And I'm just going to show you, it has a little chart here as an example. And it's just a time chart, how much time you devote to everything, and you can put in some time, put in some time just to uh, sit in the awe of and wonderment of Jesus's birth. Now, just a quick little excerpt from I believe it's a song. There's a song in the air, there's a star in the sky, there's a mother's deep prayer and a baby's low cry. And the star rains its fire while the beautiful sing, for the manger of Bethlehem cradles a king. There's a tumult of joy o'er the wonderful birth, for the virgin's sweet boy is the Lord of the earth. Ah, the star rains its fire and the beautiful sing, for the manger of Bethlehem cradles a king. And this is from There's a Song in the Air by Josiah Gilbert Holland. And that's all for today. I would encourage you to take some time today and throughout this week to just remember what God has done and to find joy and amazement and wonderment in His creation. Maybe it's in the beautiful nature around you or in things that you see, decorations. Maybe it's a decorated Christmas tree with the lights and so forth. So until tomorrow, if you have missed any of the previous, please check out the description box. There's a link for the playlist. And I hope to see you back tomorrow. Until then, have a blessed day. Bye.